She's gone. That was all Ngozi said when she called. Who's gone? Aisha. Her bed is empty. Her phone is here. Her shoes are here. But she's gone. Maybe she stepped out. Her shoes are here. The hostel smelled that night. Not the usual smell of bad drains and instant noodles and 6 girls sharing one bathroom. Something heavier. Something that sat at the back of your throat and refused to leave. Like iron, like blood. And that was the night Aisha disappeared. But here's the part nobody talks about. She wasn't the first. 3 weeks before Aisha vanished, there was Chisom. Chisom, who had a full scholarship, a first-class GPA, and a smile that could light up a lecture hall. One morning, she woke up and couldn't remember a single formula she had studied the night before. Not one. She failed her exam, then the next one, then the one after. Her scholarship was revoked by the end of the semester. She transferred schools and never came back. And before Chisom, there was Fatima, who lost 3 internship offers in 1 month. 3. The recruiters couldn't explain it. They just changed their minds. Fatima cried for a week straight. Then she stopped talking altogether. But nobody connected the dots. Not yet. Her name was Ive. And the moment she stepped onto that campus, you noticed her. Not because she was loud. That was the thing about Ive. She was never loud. She didn't need to be. She walked into the hostel common room on the first day of the semester and the air shifted. Subtle, like pressure dropping before a storm. She wore a silk headscarf, designer slides, and carried a bag that cost more than most girls' monthly allowance. No noise, no announcement, just presence. Within 2 weeks, everyone knew her name. The girls on the 3rd floor called her the soft life ambassador. She always had the newest phone, the freshest wigs, fresh nails every Friday. She ate at a restaurant while everyone else managed cafeteria food. People assumed she had a rich boyfriend, or a rich father, or both. Nobody asked, because with Ive, you somehow didn't feel comfortable asking. Our narrator, Ngozi, 2nd year, scholarship student, middle bunk in room 14, she noticed things. She always noticed things. The first red flag was the food. Someone's mama sent a cooler of egusi soup from the village, and the whole room was eating, celebrating, sharing, the way girls do when they are far from home. Ive sat on her bed, watching. "Ive, come and eat now," one girl called. Ive smiled, soft, polite. "I'm okay, eat well." She never ate anyone's food, not once, not even a biscuit. At first, Ngozi thought she was just particular about hygiene. Some people were like that. But then came the questions. Ive would be in the middle of a normal conversation. School fees, boyfriend drama, exam stress. And then, suddenly, casually, almost like it was nothing. "By the way, are you on your period right now?" Not with concern, not like a friend checking in. Just curious. The first time, Ngozi thought she'd imagined it. The second time, she told herself it was nothing. The third time, she paid attention. It started with Kemi. Kemi was Ngozi's closest friend on campus. Loud, dramatic, deeply paranoid, and absolutely hilarious. She was the kind of person who burned incense at 7 a.m. and called it spiritual maintenance. One night, Kemi pulled Ngozi into the bathroom and whispered, like someone was listening through the tiles. "Ngozi, I need to tell you something." "What happened?" "I saw Ive." "We all see Ive. She lives here." "At 2 a.m., going toward the back of the hostel, the disposal area." Ngozi went quiet. The waste disposal area was not somewhere you went at 2 a.m. It was dark, it smelled,
and it was far enough from the main building that no security light reached it. Maybe she was throwing something away. Kemi looked at her like she had just said the most naive thing in human history. She was carrying a black nylon bag, but she didn't throw anything away. How do you know? Because I watched her. She opened the dustbin and she was taking things out. Ngozi didn't sleep that night. She told herself there was a reasonable explanation. She repeated that to herself like a prayer. There is a reasonable explanation. There is a reasonable explanation. But the question that kept interrupting that prayer was, what reasonable explanation involves a girl going to a waste dustbin at 2 a.m. to take things out? She decided she would watch. Not follow, just watch. 4 nights later, it happened again. Ngozi heard the soft click of a door. She lay completely still, eyes open in the dark, heart already loud. She heard Ive's footsteps, careful, practiced, too quiet for someone who wasn't trying to hide. She counted to 30. Then she got up. She followed at a distance, barefoot on the cold corridor floor, staying close to the wall. Outside, the campus was empty and still. The kind of still that feels less like peace and more like everything holding its breath. She found a shadow by the corner of the building and stopped. She watched. Ive walked straight to the disposal area. She didn't hesitate. She didn't look around. She opened the large communal dustbin used by the girls on that floor, and she reached in. Ngozi's stomach turned. It wasn't the act of reaching in that was disturbing. It was the way Ive did it. Focused, deliberate, like a woman sorting through her own belongings, like she knew exactly what she was looking for. And when she found it, she held it carefully, wrapped it in fresh black nylon like something fragile, something precious. And then she whispered, low, rhythmic. Not a prayer she recognized, not in any language she could place. And then Ive straightened up, tucked the nylon under her arm, and walked back toward the hostel, and Ngozi pressed herself into the darkness and stopped breathing entirely. She stood there long after Ive had gone. Slowly, the question formed in her mind. Those were sanitary pads. Used. Collected. Why?
Kemi, when Ngozi told her the next morning, did not take it well. I knew it. I knew from day one something was wrong with that girl. You know I have a gift for these things. Keep your voice down. She is a witch, Ngozi. She is a confirmed witch. I said it when she walked in here with that bag. No campus girl has that kind of bag. Where did she get that money? Where? Kemi, I am calling my auntie in the village. She will send me a prayer bundle. In fact, I'm wearing double pads from today. Double. Nobody will use me for anything. That is not how it works. How do you know how it works? But underneath Kemi's dramatics was a real fear. Because here was the thing Ngozi had started noticing only after she began watching. The girls whose pads Evie might have taken. Chisom, always in that bathroom, always in that hostel. Gone now. Fatima, same floor, same disposal area, now barely speaking. And Aisha. Aisha, who had complained just last week that she'd been feeling drained, exhausted, like something was pulling at her. I don't feel like myself, she'd said. Nobody had thought much of it at the time. Ngozi started asking quiet questions. Not to Evie, never directly. She asked a girl from her hometown who studied sociology and knew the right kind of people. Have you ever heard of rituals that use... She struggled with how to say it. Things women use during their cycle. The girl didn't even flinch. Blood rituals, she said simply. Old practice, very old. Different forms in different regions, but the idea is the same. Menstrual blood is considered highly personal, tied to identity, energy, essence. In the wrong hands, in the wrong ritual context, a person's blood can be used to... She paused. To what? Ngozi pressed. To transfer, to redirect, luck, opportunity, health, relationships.
If the herbalist is skilled enough, whatever was moving toward you can be rerouted to someone else. Ngozi sat very still. So someone could be living on stolen fortune. The girl looked at her for a long moment. Someone could. She followed Evie off campus on a Thursday afternoon. Kemi insisted on coming against all reasonable advice, armed with a small bottle of olive oil she refused to explain. They followed Evie to the edge of the market district, past the bus stop, down a narrow road that didn't feel like it belonged to the same city. Quieter, older, the kind of street that looked like it remembered things. The building was small, unremarkable, a blue door. They watched from across the road as Evie knocked and was let in without a word. They waited 20 minutes. Then Kemi, who had been relatively composed until now, started shifting. Something smells. It's the street. No, Ngozi, something smells. She was right. That same heavy smell. Iron. Old earth. The door opened. An old man came to stand in the doorway. He looked directly across the street. At them. Not at the general direction, not scanning, directly, at them. Kemi grabbed Ngozi's arm so hard it left a mark. He smiled, just slightly, then went back inside. "We are leaving," Kemi said. "We are leaving this street, this area, and I am personally reconsidering my university education." They didn't leave, not immediately, because Ngozi had her phone out, recording. And when Evie came out 40 minutes later, she wasn't alone. She was carrying a small bag, the kind you get from a boutique, and behind her, for just a moment before the door closed, Ngozi caught a glimpse inside. Items arranged on a shelf. She couldn't see clearly, but she recognized one thing. A phone case, pink, cracked at the corner. Aisha's. They went to the hostel warden. The warden, a tired woman who had seen too much and believed too little, listened to their story with the expression of someone waiting for them to finish. "You followed a student off campus." "Yes, but based on what you think you saw in a dustbin, we have a recording." "Of what? A girl entering a building?" "Aisha is missing. Aisha is a grown woman who can go where she likes." They walked out of that office with nothing. That night, Ngozi lay awake and thought about what the sociology girl had said. Whatever was moving toward you can be rerouted. She thought about Chisom's scholarship, Fatima's internships, Aisha's strange exhaustion in the days before she disappeared. She thought about Evie, always prosperous, always fortunate, always untouched. And she thought, how long has this been happening? How many girls? Evie was in the common room when Ngozi walked in the next morning. Just the two of them. Ngozi sat down, looked at her. "I know," Ngozi said. A long silence. Evie didn't panic, she didn't deny it, she just looked at Ngozi with something that might have been exhaustion or might have been contempt and said, "You don't know anything." Aisha's phone case is in that building. Something shifted in Evie's expression, a flicker. "You think you are better than me," Evie said quietly. "All of you do. You were born into families that paid for everything. Schools, connections, recommendations. You walked onto this campus already winning. That doesn't give you the right. I came here with nothing." Her voice cracked just slightly, then hardened again. "Girls like you got everything handed to you and you still complain. I had to fight for every single thing. I was laughed at, I was invisible. Nobody was coming to help me. So you took from us instead." Evie stood up. "I built myself," she said. "You can call it whatever you want." She walked out.
By evening, Ivy's bed was cleared. Her bags were gone. Her wigs, her designer shoes, her expensive phone, gone. The warden had no record of an official checkout. The Blue Door building, when two girls from the sociology department went to check, was empty. Not abandoned. Empty in the way a space becomes empty when it has been deliberately vacated. Clean, no smell, no items on the shelves, no phone case. Aisha came back. 2 weeks later, she appeared at the hostel gate looking thin and confused, with no clear memory of where she had been or how she had gotten there. The doctors found nothing wrong with her physically. She never fully explained what happened. She said she remembered feeling very tired and then not much after that. She moved into a different hostel the following semester. Chisom's scholarship was quietly reinstated after an administrative review found errors in the original assessment. Fatima got a job offer, a good one.
Nobody officially connected any of it. Nobody could prove anything. But here is what Ngozi remembers. The old man in the doorway. The way he looked directly at her, across the street, in poor light, without hesitation. The way he smiled, like she was someone he'd already accounted for. 3 months into the new semester, a new girl moved into the hostel. Quiet confidence, beautiful, expensive things, no obvious source of income. One of the younger girls whispered to her friend, "Did you see the new girl? She's giving Ivy vibes." Her friend laughed. "You're overthinking it." But in room 14, the dustbin no longer sat in the corner by the bathroom. Ngozi had moved it into the middle of the room, where everyone could see it, all the time. Till today, nobody in that hostel throws anything away carelessly. Not anymore. And some things are much harder to throw away than you think.